Morning, good morning. What's up, Noble? Good to see you in the mix here. We're just giving folks a couple of minutes to filter in and then started. I am just realizing that because I used existing settings for this live stream for the Sunday session, that the live chat is disabled. I wonder if I can enable it on the fly here. Give me just a sec. And there we go. There we go. Now I've got chat. Here. All right, now I'm settled in. Let's go. What's up, Bushy Brow? What's up, Take the Rye? What's up, Sir Sergino? Sergino? What's up, YB? Noble? We've already said good morning, but hope you're doing. Dig in. Let's start talking about some tickers and some trade plans. Let me get the chat open over here in the morning live stream. All right, let's go. If y'all don't have the chat open already, please go ahead and get that open top right hand corner of the morning live streams. Feel free to chime in, say good morning. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what questions you have. If there's any tickers you want us to take a look at in the 45 minutes ish or so that we have get through this. So let's start digging in. Let's take a look at ES as we always do at the beginning of these live streams. Everything's, still looking pretty strong. A little bit of consolidation up here. There is the old good morning on my trial. First time. All right. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope you enjoy this. This is meant to be highly interactive. So if you have like a ticker or anything like that that you want me to take a look at, feel free to go ahead and post that in the chat where you posted your message there. If you have any questions about your membership or where things are or anything like that, Chris is on vacation right now. So, with that in mind, feel free to reach out to me or any of the other top earners if you have any questions about anything while Chris is on vacay. We'll do our best to answer those questions. I will fully admit I don't know exactly how everything works in the phases of the trial and all that stuff. I'm not on that side of the organization. But I'll do my best to assist. And if I can't assist, I'll put you in touch with somebody who I know that can. What's up? Papawangus? Papawangus. I feel like that's one of those names that's like Bart Simpson calling those tavern. Is that, did I just say something that sounds awful? Not realizing it. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. Nonetheless. All right, so Surge. I'm going to go with Surge for short. If you have a ticker or anything like that that you want me to take a look at, let me know. We're going to do some trade plans live here on the stream. Trade plans are really, in my opinion, the ultimate when it comes to learning how to trade and executing trades on your own. I think alerts are great, but certainly alerts should be looked at as more of a tool than a crutch, something that you totally rely on, kind of something more that just gives you ideas for trades that you might want to get into. But always, always, always do your own homework, do your own due diligence, make sure that you have some insights on the trade before you go following anything blindly. That's the best advice I can give anybody who's joining in Trading Discord for the first time. What's up, Navy Plum? One of my favorites, and just goes out of his way to join these streams on a regular basis. So thank you for always being here, Navy Plum. He was also here on the Sunday session. We will do another one of those later this month now that we're into the first day of July. But anyway, let me get back to business. Sorry for all the housekeeping type stuff there. So what are we looking at here on ES? Again, NTS looking very bullish on things. We talked about that bounce off the 200 SMA that has continued to ride the wave of bullish momentum to the upside here. Things looking very solid as long as we're holding over 62.13.25 in my opinion. Below that, we could see a pullback to some of these lower targets. We are still struggling a little bit with our current resistance on watch there at 62.52.50. And if I remember correctly, we are still at, I know that on SPY and from some other metrics, we are currently at all-time highs but from a or new all-time highs from a technical standpoint through the lens of futures here. We still have a little bit further to go to retest all-time highs, and then that will be a very interesting test to see that where we wind up getting a big pullback, or are we kind of potentially setting up a bigger pullback here right now uh, as we go through the short trading week this week. Again, reminder, markets are closed Friday. And also one more, and I promise this is the last housekeeping item. I am not going to be doing a live stream this Thursday. I'm actually taking, since the markets are closed Friday, I'm going to take Thursday off to kind of get a 4-day weekend out of things, and gonna spend some time with my friends and my wife, who have not seen me very much over the last couple of months, especially as I was kind of getting through that major office move that I've probably already talked about too much. So let's dig in. Let's go through some of our trade plans again. ES overall looking strong. I don't have anything major to say here other than, it still looks good to keep buying the dip as long as we're holding over 62.1325. I'd say we were still in ultimately a buy the dip market, but we would want to be a little bit more strategic and wait for some more key levels to be tested if we do lose that 62.13. Right now, things are very strong, very bullish through the lens of ES. All right, so let's see. We had some live stream, or we did our Sunday session. So this plan went into effect pre-market here. And this can happen. We have a better example and opportunity, though, on PLTR. We did SMCI and PLTR on the Sunday session. We talked about a lot of stuff, answered a lot of questions. Didn't spend as much time on trade planning, focused maybe a little bit more on technical analysis, but that's okay. That's totally fine. That's kind of why I wanted to have a kind of more freeform session this past Sunday. So we did do trade plans for SMCI and PLTR. That are trade plans from last week. Last Tuesday we did QQ. That one's been moving nicely. No, we didn't do Carvana. I screwed this up. We did Chipotle, and I forgot to save. Oops. Save it. So it's on me, but I'll be able to get us back up to speed on it pretty quickly. I'm going to pull up the chart so I don't forget what that one's supposed to be. Last Thursday we did CoreWeave, and I think we had the Internet of Things. Did we do that this past Thursday? No, that was a while ago. But maybe we only got to one trade plan, or maybe I screwed up or forgot to save it again. Sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place this week, but all right, we'll get through it. We'll get to it. So let's get to. That's right, we did Reddit. Thank you, Nick. Well, I'll go find that plan and we'll fix that up as well. Is it possible to access a recording of Sunday? I was in church. Yeah, good stuff. Spending some time in church, that's totally fine. I didn't take that into consideration, although is the church of the markets on the Sunday sessions. Just kidding. But yes, there. If you go to the X Trades, yep, there you go. Andy's on top of it. Yeah, we did broadcast it to the X Trades YouTube, so that automatically captures a recording of it. The same thing for these pre-market streams. These are also going out to YouTube. So if you ever want to, go recap or rewatch something, please feel free to check out the X Trades YouTube. Make sure to like and subscribe while you're there. But also on top of that, it is obviously going to be more advantageous to actually be there live, especially when we're doing these pre-market streams, because by the time you get around to watching the replay, plan might already be in effect and hitting price targets and all that stuff. Sunday sessions, obviously, you're just going to miss the opportunity to interact, ask the questions that are the questions that you want to have answered, or have me take a look at the tickers that you want some additional insights and analysis on. So let's get to our existing trade plans again from the Sunday session. We did SMCI. SMCI made the move kind of without us with this gap up overnight going into yesterday's trading session, and then pushed up through PT1, came back below, back tested that as resistance, and is continuing to pull back here. Does look like a pretty interesting confluence setup if we're holding above 47.77 going into the market. open this morning. As long as we're holding above that, I think this plan still looks pretty good for a re-entry. We're also building up a nice confluence here on the 15 minutes with that Neptune key buy pressure right there on my Neptune trading system indicator. Those of you who are new, so I'm just saying Neptune, general idea of what I'm talking about. But 47.77, wow. Oh, that's right, because we have the call and put entry as our stops. So, and just to recap this one, because I know it's a little bit funky looking again, we're looking for things to break and hold or bounce off of 47.77. If that happens or takes place, we see those entries, we let that trade come to us versus chasing the trade. We should see targets at 49.73, 51.05, and 52.66. Our stop loss average down is down here at 46.08, which also happens to coincidentally be the put entry level. So if we lose that support, we're looking for downside targets to start scaling out for profit at 44.13, 42.79, 40.77, with the stop loss average down being the call entry this time at 47.77. So those are the SMCI plans. But again, this one kind of being the move without us. So like I said, don't chase, let the trade come to you. Letting the trade come to you would be a back test or a retest of this 47.77. Wait to see if we do see some signs of support and we're not just slicing right through it and dropping hard for some reason. If that winds up being the case, I'd say this plan looks good to go ahead and execute and yeah, stick to the plan from there. Should be, you know, you know exactly what to do, regardless of if it's taking profits or taking a loss. You'll know exactly what to do. On Tesla, considering a short leverage play for the day, I will take a look at it for you. Absolutely, I would be a little bit careful. Tesla has been dropping hard, and I think it's even dropping hard this morning with all the another dust up between Elon and the White House. We'll take a look at it though, but if it's dropping super hard, like I'm pretty sure it is, again, kind of goes back to what I just said a second ago. Don't chase entries. Let the trade come to you. Let the setup come to you, and then execute. So be a little bit careful chasing downside. I'm not saying it can't play out, pay out, but certainly I would be very cautious and small in my position sizings, considering the downside move we've already seen from Tesla here recently. It seems like a little bit of a chase entry to me, anecdotally speaking. We'll take a look at the chart to confirm what looks good and what doesn't. All right, coffee. So we also did PLTR. This one was a better setup than SMCI. We did get the break above in the pre-market, but then we got our back tests of the call entry going into the market open. Let's zoom in on this a little bit so we can take a look at how this played out. So did give us a back test right there shortly after the market open off of our call entry. That was the entry point there. So like I said, don't chase this, pump up here when we're already pretty much at PT1. Wait for the trade to come to you. That's your entry on that back test. Once you see that getting bought up, and then you play for PT1, scale out, move up your stop. So you should have booked profits on this and eventually gotten stopped out at break even on the remaining, or maybe even for a little bit of profit on your remaining contracts. But PLTR played out nicely. Still looking overall bearish, very clean rejection there off of that Neptune key sell pressure in that confluence with that put PT1. So no surprises that we got a rejection there. Indicator doing its job fantastically here on PLTR. We had QQQ. This one was from last Tuesday's live stream. This one did give us a breakout and a back test. Oh no, I'm sorry. We were back here. My bad. This was the original entry on that. I did not personally take QQQ because I've just been juggling a lot. But we did do this plan last Tuesday. Gave us the break above there on Wednesday. Nice back test entry there. Did dip a little bit lower. That's fine. Nowhere near our stop loss average down. And then it was ultimately off to the races from there up to PT1. PT2 consolidated against PT2 there after hours yesterday, pulling back a little bit to the 200 SMA here, but still overall looking very strong and looking very strong, especially if we continue to hold over 546.92. Nice confluence there again with NTS and a key level from our plan. They're in close proximity to each other. We talked about confluences, why they're important on the Sunday session. Make sure you pay attention to that part. It's all about multi-factor trading and confirmations, in my opinion. understand that more if you go back and watch that live stream Sunday. So QQQ plan playing out nicely. Chipotle, I need to go pull this plan real quick. Let's get chat. Let me go to apologies that I'm having to do this while we're doing the stream. Well, this is the same plan. So, all right, fix this real quick. Six, 4, 784, 77, stop loss average down 5383, put entry 5292, 5175, 54, I should say, 49, 39, right, set it wrong. Weird stop loss 5383. All right, this was our Chipotle live stream plan that we did. So this one never gave us a confirmed break to the upside. But what was interesting on this one to me, back to Neptune and Confluences and buying the dips and all that sort of stuff, that was a fantastic test of our key buying pressure, key buying area. Did ultimately give us a confirmed break there pre-market and launched off that going into the trading day, came very close within a close enough reasonable range in my opinion, hitting PT1 there, so should have scaled out some for profits there before it closed yesterday. And that's also another thing I think it's worth mentioning real quick as I'm talking about this. If you don't have more time in the trading day when we're hitting a price target, it's a pretty big question I think you need to ask yourself as far as whether or not you're going to swing those remaining contracts overnight or not, just because we've hit a price target. And once we've hit a price target, essentially that's where we expect to potentially see a pullback or a bounce if we're playing for the downside. That's why they are the targets, right? We're breaking through resistances to get confirmation to get in. We have more resistances overhead as price targets. As we test those resistances, we could absolutely see the price action reverse and go against us. That's why we scale out there, move up our stop, so we're not letting what is overall a green trade go red. Again, depending on your entry and how much time you got on the contracts, you're probably still in okay shape going into the open here this morning. But again, just something to be mindful of, and saw a good example of it sitting right in front of me, so I thought it was worth discussing. But Chipotle overall hitting some targets from last Tuesday's live stream. Then we've got CoreWeave. This was from last Thursday's stream. This one did give us a very quick breakout, a little bit of a fake out here, and let me show you something here. This is kind of my theory on this. So the same way that I set up NT, what is that? Ooh. So very much the way we set up these areas of buy pressure and sell pressure, how I built in those calculations into this Neptune trading system. We also have kind of more traditional indicators such as simple moving averages. Here you see the 200 and the 333. They're both trending down with the 200 below the 333. So this becomes a little bit problematic in that you can kind of think of this as one big area of sell pressure with kind of two key sell pressure points. If I were to take this like highlighter tool, for example, right, anything between these lines as they're trending down with the 333 over the 200, kind of acts like sell pressure. Now, I would expect that sell pressure to show up perhaps a little bit more precisely along these moving average lines like that. But anywhere in that area, there's potential for rejections. Obviously, key rejection would be up there, right? So let's get all that extra crap off the chart. Let's get back to talking. So anyway, kind of my theory as to why we did get what looked like a very good confirmed break, but it just kind of stalled out shortly after, pulled back down to the put entry. But that held beautifully right there in that key buy pressure on NTS. Once we get this momentum flip back over bullish, things look a lot better, good to go kind of scenario. And then it just absolutely launched. off of that confluence with the 200 SMA right there. Again, even though bearish, can still be used as support if the price action is above it. Average down level there as well, ripped all the way to PT1 and then sold right back off very quickly. So CoreWeave clearly 171.99 looks to be a challenging level for it. All right. So I won't screw this up. Excuse me again in the future. Oh, that's in the elite chat from GTW Reddit. All right, so let's pull that up. I'll save this one so we can look at it next time we do a live stream. I saved this layout so many times with updated indicators, but it's like it's still pulling old versions. But anyway, I just did fix that. So Reddit, we were looking for a break of 781, 790, 168, 77, 47, stop loss average out 6. Shared stop loss on this, so let's pop this on. So what are we looking at here on Reddit? Price action yesterday would have been a little bit of a chase. Let's take a look at the 5 minutes, see if that's still the case here. Yeah, it would have been a little bit of a chase, and again, I don't like chase entries. So I would have been waiting for this one to pull back, especially with this confluence here on the 5 minute with that NTS key buy pressure call entry level there together all in the same spot. We never did get that pullback to that level. So again, this one's, and I haven't personally touched this, so this one's kind of still looking like a no trade. I do note a very interesting confluence. Y'all know one of my favorite moving averages is 333 SMA stacking up right there with the call entry. If we do get a nice pullback and back test to 147.81 here this morning, that could be an interesting buy the dip opportunity and then just execute the plan from here. Let me get this locked in and right. Message link, and then we're going to get started on some new trade plans. Again, I appreciate y'all bearing with me while I get this stuff fixed that I neglected to save correctly previously. Save template, symbol. This is still Thursday live stream plan 2. Confirm. Yes. All right, so let's get to some of these new picker requests that we've got here in the morning live stream. What's up, Chris? What are you doing here, man? You should be sitting on a beach sipping a Mai Tai. Oh, wait, no, he showed up and left. Good. You shouldn't be here. You should be on vacation. Go enjoy yourself. What's up, Thug Baby Yoda? Good to see you here, though. Miss you having you in the mix as always. Oh, no, that's the old. Never mind. I'm reading shit from last week, and I thought Chris was in here. So, Bentley. Looked at in the past. Much higher time frame only, though. I'm guessing this was the all-time high. These were fib extensions, I'm guessing. Can I give you a quick take, Noble, on Melly? The only thing I have a little bit of trepidation about, like spending a bunch of time on a trade plan here, is the volume on this. Trading under 500,000 shares yesterday and on the 30-day average makes it kind of illiquid. Not a lot of people trading this, so it doesn't have volume or volatility that we would want or need, really be able to execute trades, especially options trades. If you have a backup request, please feel free to drop it in the chat. I will give you first preference since I'm kind of punting on this one. But that being said, I'll give you a quick take on it. Yeah, I'm sure the options chain is just atrocious on this with the low liquidity on it. So that's always something you need to be mindful of, folks. If you're looking at a ticker that you're interested in trading, especially if it's one that you've never traded before or haven't heard about before, not necessarily a bad thing as long as there's volume, but there's just no volume here on Mercado Libre. Um, Generally speaking, what I look for, you want to see probably at least 3 million shares being traded on the 30-day average. And the recent volume kind of trending above or near that same area as well. So just kind of something to keep in mind and for that I personally look for before I decide to go after a ticker that I've never traded personally before. I've clearly planned Mercado Libre at some point, but I've never traded it. Obviously, you have all-time highs, cash session. Say that fast. Highs, all-time highs sitting right here. So that is interesting. We did break out from prior all-time highs. Nice bounce off that call entry there. I don't know how long ago it was I did this trade plan, but man, what a move there. So you do have that all-time highs just overhead. I would say if you're currently long on this, I'd be scaling out heavy there. That looks like a lot of resistance anywhere up in this range. I mean, overall, it does look bullish, but that doesn't mean it can't pull back. And sometimes a pullback and too much consolidation in the world of options can be all that it takes to let a good trade turn bad. So just be cautious with this one, especially with the low liquidity. CRM or MDB. Okay. Let's see. Database. Should have some pretty decent levels on it. Short positions. We don't. So right here. Let's see. Let me get a quick vibe on this. It's been a minute since recent price action. Holding some of the lower levels here with a nice confluence there below at 202.13. So it looks interesting actually. So let's go with Mongo. Let's this up real quick. I think I can cruise through this in one more. Let's see. Yeah, I was gonna say, oh, how the mighty have fallen. It's definitely way down from the levels it was at the last time I looked at it. So could be a good opportunity for another bull run here. Liking these SMAs and how that's setting up, but let's zoom out real quick. I'm gonna hide my indicators for a second. Clearly, big time supports and liquidity sweeps below. Shocked here. There's some resistance touching some point. Yeah, there. Takes care of the lower areas of support resistance. This is also different. This little range here is my question. Yeah. Here. Okay. If you don't have this chart time frame set up in TradingView, I highly recommend it. Drop down, add customer interval, 24 hours. It essentially lets you look at daily candlesticks, but still see the extended hours trading. The default for TradingView's daily chart is cash session only. Technically, still a valid trend line. No closes below it, but we are definitely flirting with losing it. Here, pre-markets, that's interesting. Get there. Is it a good support resistance level? Question. When bounce does not make it noteworthy. Let's go to some price history here. See if we can confirm this is an existing. Not sold on it, perfectly honest. I think there's something there. I just don't think it's a daily level. Could be like a 4 hour. So let's mark it. We'll take a look at it here in just a sec. Tracks. Up. Definitely there. Confirmation touches back here. Let's see. There is a level. It's probably set right here. Let's see how that looks on this curve. Yeah, not bad actually. Firm break above, back test and launch. There's support. Just gotta learn how to read line like this to catch those each in my mentoring sessions when I do one-on-ones with folks. Last daily. Quick look at the 4 hour and then move on to the hourly. We'll fill in any blanks that I see that need to be filled in. This trade plan established. This is a little bit lower. So we bounced just before we hit that support essentially, which that can't happen. Excuse me, sorry. It's not warmed up yet. I've been yeah, all right, let's get to the hourly chart. Put our indicators back on. Let's put this plan together so we're ready to go. Yeah, so already, like, break a second ago, it also kind of further confirms the loss of this trend line. it looks invalidated here, but it's just a higher time frame trend line, so technically it's still intact. Below 202.13, we are looking for shy of that hit a second time. Earlier about filling in the blanks, stop loss. Yeah, sit right about here, 206.58. Definitely want this weekly second target. I was kind of considering it as a PT1. Definitely this last target down here the next week. 65 to the upside if this one does try to break out and make could be a potential earlier entry, but I don't want to get us into a trade prematurely. I'd rather wait for better confirmation. I think that happened. 7. Now the other question I need to answer. Really good. Target there at 217. That oh, are you guys having any audio issues? Anybody else besides Trading Dad? I might get like a different thing for my microphone. It's just currently kind of sitting in front of me on the desk, and I'm trying to talk as close and into it as I can. A little thing for me. Oh, okay. All right. Let me got everything. Let me turned up pretty well. I'm sure this sounds great, right? If I'm talking into it like this. Check, 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 check. This sounds great. Yeah, all right. I might have to get something a little bit better that puts this mic up closer to my face when I'm doing these. So I'll find something and I'll buy it. Got disposable income for that. Or maybe I'll start a GoFundMe. You guys can GoFundMe it. Just kidding. Totally kidding. Don't ever send me money. I don't need it. I'd rather you put it into a trade. Video broadcast is okay. I'll take a look at that. Thanks, Bubble Time. All the recommendations I can get. All right, let me kind of slide up a little bit closer here. Hopefully that's a little bit better. No, no refunds. Good one. I like that. All right, enough banter. I've got work to do. All right, I was debating this weekly level being PT2. I think it is a good PT2. We might come shy of it, but we'll have already booked some profits and moved up our stops. Third target's definitely right here. No doubt about it if we can break through that PT2 level. All right, so this is what we're looking at. Oh, yeah, stop loss average down. Actually, we're kind of sitting on it right here, pre-market. 980. All right, so knock this out. Let's lock this in, and then I'm going to try to fly through our plan. Whoops, getting ahead of myself. 213.07, and then we're looking for 217, 221.56, breakdown 195.3, 8. That's stop loss. That's correct. This on the chart. Hide. Price levels, pull those in. Group 1. Yeah. All right. So this is the plan. The plan from your man in Japan. I was, coincidentally, looking at buying property in Japan last night. I think there could be some opportunities there. I shouldn't share that because then it's going to become a bidding war. All right. Oops. And for all my very quiet peeps, sorry if you guys aren't seeing live chat. I did try to add it kind of midstream. I forgot that I still had it turned off from settings from Sunday, so my apologies if you guys don't have chat capabilities. I did just post this plan in the chat stream there, though, in YouTube, but just grab a screenshot of it if you don't already have it. So, what are we looking for here on MDB? We're looking for a break over 213.07. Should bring targets at 217.90, 221.56, and 227.48 with a stop loss average down at 209.80. The downside, we're looking for a break below 202.13. That should bring targets at 195.23, 190.22, 183.65 with a stop loss average down at 206.58. Those are your MDB trade plans. Let me get this posted in the lead chat real quick. Everyone. Let's go. Score. Link. Give me the link. Give me the loop. Put this in here. Let's get it locked in as a trade plan. Tuesday. This is going to replace our existing. Yep. Our alert set. This till next Tuesday. Close of business. Good to go. All right, that's your MDB trade plans. Let's go. Let's see what we can't take a look at on these other tickers with the few minutes I have remaining. Thank you guys for bearing with me a little bit this morning. Let's see. Sunday, we talked Reddit. Thoughts on Tesla considering, okay, so let's take a look at it. Like I said, we don't want to get caught chasing here. Excuse me. So Tesla still has pretty good support, although it is testing a very key support here. I just told y'all about my favorite moving average. Still my favorite moving average. You see it trying to hold here with confluence at this 316.97 level. So if that's holding, Tesla could hold and try to recover a little bit. But below 313.22, this looks like it wants to drop. It could drop. Realistically, it could drop as low as 302.58. Mark this as a second level, and I'll circle back and check these. There's definitely. So I would wait, like I said, for a confirmed break, and preferably, right, something that looks like this, where we get a confirmed break below, get a nice back test somewhere in that range. Then we make our move down at 301.92 level. What I'd be watching as a first price target below 313.2. That's just a quick take on Tesla to the downside. So that's my thoughts there for you, Serge. Apple, if I can, let's take a quick look at Apple. It did have crazy moves yesterday. My only question is, did it break that key resistance yet? The answer is no, it has not. It seems to be rejecting it still. Uh, Wait a second. I wonder if that. I didn't realize it still had. Yeah, it's actually looking a lot more bearish than I thought. Yeah, no, we've already. Never mind. We've got down. We're hitting those targets. Hang on. I'll look at this for you. My apologies. I didn't realize it was still on RTH there. But we are catching this weekly level. They're at 297.09. Right about the break below 313.22 playing out to where it did, but I was looking at the regular hours chart, so that move had already played out. Wasn't looking at things through the right lens there. Yeah, below 297.09, if that breaks, I'd be looking for 291.21. Sure. So slight adjustment there. We tapped it there pre-market as the low. So if we, again, I'd be looking for the same thing though. Break below, perhaps back test, and down to 291.21 first target. It's kind of a tight range there, but it's a window of opportunity. If you did take that setup, I would definitely keep my stops up here at 301.92. So mark those levels down. I'll post this chart real quick, just so you'll have it. Again, I know it's not a full trade plan, but we're running very short on time. Yeah, no, thanks for pointing that out, sir. I didn't realize I was still looking at the regular trading hours chart until I went over to Apple, and I was like, wait a second, that doesn't make any sense. That looks like all of yesterday's price action. So Apple did reject, but is breaking above 206.58 here. That is a key level for it to break over. I think that does open up room to this 209.51 level. I don't know what that trade plan for, but it's not for an Apple trade. It happens to have some similar levels on it. So yeah, as long as we're holding over 206.24, I like this to potentially make a push up to 209.51 and then 212.66. So keep an eye on Apple. Here pre-market could be a nice little buy the dip if we get a tap of that 206.24 entry. I would put my stops right smack dab. Actually, no, we can get that down here at 204.62. So kind of looks like this. I'm just going to mark it up. A couple of price targets, stop loss, waiting for that back test of that entry there. That takes place, I think overall is pretty solid. So I'll post this for you guys real quick. Yeah, sorry for not being able to get through more plans, fully fledged plans this morning. I think I had one more request for like Amazon or something, didn't I? I would keep massively insane. Let's look at this one. Here's load Amazon. I say buy the dip off of 217.24 if we get a test. Otherwise, it kind of looks mixed. So buy that dip off 217.24. Tight stop at 216.31. All that holds could play out nicely. If it loses 216.31, likely pulls back to 214.16 by the looks of it. So those are just some quick thoughts, quick levels. I'll post this chart as well, just so you'll have levels and see the indicators on it. Sorry, not a full trade plan. We are 10 minutes out from market open, which means I need to go get the SPY plan put together for today. So with that being said, I want to thank you all so much for joining me. Excuse me. Here on the Chart Talk Live Tuesday pre-market stream for July the 1st. Let's start this month off on the right foot. As we always say here on Chart Talk Live, Plan your trades, trade your plans, go out there and get some green. Remember, we're looking for profits, not perfection. So keep those wins big, keep those losses small. I will see you guys in the chats. And friendly reminder, we will not be, oh God, my voice just cracked like Bobby Brady. Friendly reminder, we are not going to be doing a live stream. I'm taking the day off on Thursday. So no live stream Thursday, but we will be back next Tuesday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So until then, I will catch you all in the X Trades Discord. I will share my thoughts and ideas there throughout the day today. Spy Plane coming at you here shortly. Everybody have a great day. Thank you again for joining me. Much appreciated. I will see you all soon. Take care.